So today, we're tackling something pretty cool, the technology that's promising to completely upgrade our cities. And we're going to ask a really simple question. How do you give a city a brain? You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You're just sitting there, completely frustrated, wondering why in an age where you can get anything delivered in an hour, our cities still feel so disconnected, so slow to react. And that's really the gap we're talking about. On one side, you have the reality for so many of us, the congestion, the delays, the systems that just feel ancient. And on the other, you have this vision of a perfectly clean, super efficient, hyper-connected smart city. The space between those two pictures, well, that's what we're going to explore.
Okay, so let's get right into it. To even begin to understand how we get to that smart city ideal, we first have to get real about the core problems that are holding our cities back right now.
When you dig into it, it really boils down to 4 huge hurdles. First up, you've got these things called data silos. All that means is that the traffic department system doesn't talk to the water department system. They're completely separate. Second, our cities are reactive. Just think about it. A crew gets sent to fix a massive flood after the water main has already broken, not when a tiny sensor first detects a pressure drop that could have warned them hours before. Then, of course, there's the absolutely staggering cost and complexity of trying to build this stuff from scratch. And finally, information overload. Cities are literally swimming in data, but they have no way to find the important signals in all that noise.
So, keeping those massive challenges in mind, what's the actual solution? This is where it starts to get really interesting. See, the answer isn't about adding more separate parts. It's about connecting all the ones we already have. It's about giving the city a digital brain. Just chew on that analogy for a second. Your central nervous system, right? It senses everything happening in your body, it processes all that information, and it coordinates a response. What if a city could do that? What if it could sense traffic flow, air quality, and water levels all at once, and then intelligently respond in real time?
And that is exactly what a smart city IoT platform is built to be. And IoT, that's just the Internet of Things. It's basically the network of all the connected devices, sensors, and gadgets in a city. And a platform, like the one we're looking at called Favoriot, acts as the digital brain for that entire network. Now, the goal here is way bigger than just plugging in a few sensors. It's about creating what's being called a unified urban ecosystem. I mean, just imagine traffic lights that can actually talk to city buses to ease congestion, or a power grid that communicates with the water system to save energy. We're talking about total, seamless coordination.
So to get technical for a second, what is this thing? Well, it's a central software system that does 3 absolutely crucial things. 1, it securely connects everything. 2, it manages all the data pouring in. And 3, and this is the most important part, it turns all that raw information into insights that a real person can actually use to make a smart decision. Okay, so we get the theory. We know what it is. But how does a platform like this actually fix those huge, deep-rooted problems we talked about earlier? Let's break down how it really works under the hood. It all comes down to 4 key features. You've got universal integration, a real-time rule engine, a subscription-based model, and built-in intelligence. Let's dig into what each of those actually means.
And check this out. You can see how it's a perfect one-to-one solution. It's such a clean matchup. You've got disconnected data? The answer is universal integration. You're tired of waiting for disaster? The answer is a real-time rule engine that acts instantly. That crazy high cost barrier, it gets broken down by a subscription model. And all that data overload, it gets managed by built-in intelligence. It's a complete system designed to tackle every single one of those old-school problems.
Okay, so this first one, universal integration, is absolutely key. It's designed to be the ultimate connector. It doesn't care if it's a brand new air quality sensor or a 20-year-old traffic system that should have been replaced a decade ago. It pulls all of that data into one place, creating that single unified view of the city that everyone's been dreaming of.
Now this is the feature that flips the switch from reactive to proactive. It's a total game changer. You can set simple rules, like, hey, if water levels in the river rise past this exact point, send an immediate high-priority alert to the flood management team. The action happens the second the data crosses that line, not hours later when a person finally notices.
This is all really impressive tech, for sure. But let's zoom out for a minute, because at the end of the day, this isn't really about gadgets and data streams, is it? It's about people. It's about us. What does all this actually mean for the citizens living in these places? How does it actually make life better?
And this slide really lays out the real-world benefits perfectly. City operations become way more efficient.
which saves taxpayer money. Services become incredibly responsive. I mean, imagine getting an alert on your phone that your bus is running 5 minutes late because of an accident up ahead, and the system has already rerouted a different bus to your stop. That's the kind of proactive service we're talking about. And future planning, things like where to build new roads or subway lines, can be based on years of hard data, not just someone's best guess.
And crucially, this whole approach fixes that massive cost problem. Because it's a platform as a service, or PaaS model, you can basically think of it like Netflix for city management. A city doesn't have to spend millions of dollars building its own system from the ground up. They can just subscribe, start with a small pilot project, prove that it works, and then scale it across the whole city. It helps them avoid what's being called the million-dollar mistake of a giant failed tech project.
And just for some context here, this specific platform, Favoriot, is a homegrown Malaysian solution. Now that's actually pretty significant because it's certified by local authorities like MASTI. That certification ensures it complies with all the national standards for really important stuff like data privacy and governance.
So we've looked at the problems, the technology, and the benefits. After all that, what's the ultimate takeaway? What's the one big idea we should really be left with?
It really comes down to this fundamental shift in how we think. The goal is to stop seeing our cities as just a random collection of disconnected parts and start treating them like a single intelligent organism, one that can actually sense, understand, and respond to its environment in a truly integrated way.
And that brings us to one final, pretty provocative thought. We spent a lot of time talking about reacting faster. But with machine learning and advanced analytics now being built into these platforms, the next logical step isn't just reacting, it's predicting. So I'll just leave you with this question. What if your city could actually predict a major traffic jam, a water shortage, or an air quality issue before it even happened? That's the future this technology is really aiming for.